Today's episode of Real Talk Christian Podcast is sponsored by the Christian Standard Bible. The goal of the CSB is to be faithful to the original languages without sacrificing clarity, all while maintaining both accuracy and readability. With the beautiful designs and multiple study Bible options, everyone from adults to teens and even children can find a CSB Bible that they enjoy. Learn more at csbible.com. Again, that's csbible.com.
Welcome to Real Talk Christian Podcast, where we drink coffee and have real conversations about faith, culture, and society. I'm your host, Chris Fuller.
And this is Mark Hyde.
And on today's episode, well, it's a Thanksgiving episode, which is kind of fitting, seeing as how it's Thanksgiving. And should Christians celebrate Thanksgiving?
Ooh.
And if so, what would that look like? Mark, you ready to dive into this?
I'm ready to dive into some turkey and stuffing, too.
Let's go.
Happy Turkey Day! Well, I don't know if people were ready for that.
Probably not.
But either way, you got it, people. You got the Fuller Turkey.
Day.
It's your favorite holiday.
It's the holiday where we can eat. I like it.
And no shame?
I suppose not. I guess not.
Do calories count on Thanksgiving?
They count, but they get burned off faster when you take a nap watching football.
Oh, my goodness. I feel like that's more the American tradition than anything else. You know, you eat some turkey, you turn on the Cowboys, or the Cowboys play every Thanksgiving, man. Every Thanksgiving. So do the Packers, right? No, Lions. Lions play.
Packers do play sometimes.
Packers do play quite a bit against the Lions on that. But either way, you put on the game, take a nice little nap, you look at them Black Friday catalogs, you know, classic.
You gear up and start getting rested for that shopping day.
Now, here's the real question.
Yeah.
Do you watch the dog show after the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade?
Janelle does, but I do not.
Janelle, you really do?
I don't even really, I'll start watching like the Thanksgiving Day Parade, but then I was like, all right, it's time to get ready because you got to go.
That's background noise, man.
It's
like that's one of the, I would just put on the TV and kind of go, oh, look, there's Snoopy again. There's Pikachu again.
Again,
you know?
right, yeah, so.
Which, fun fact, this is fun fact at the beginning of the episode.
Fun facts with Mark Hyde.
This is the first holiday Beth and I ever spent together dating.
Oh,
we were supposed to go down to her
right.
sister's house, and then COVID struck her sister's house. So her parents drove up, and my mom came over, and we had Thanksgiving at my house. I think that's how it went. Beth, is that how it went? Remind me. I think that's how it went. I'm pretty sure.
You should probably remember that scene as how it was just last year.
I'm 102% sure that's how it went down.
There you go. All right.
Because it was like a weird day. It was different. Whatever. But either way, this is like the official this is like the second holiday. Like
it's the second holiday.
Second holiday. It was the first holiday we spent together,
right,
but this
sure.
is the second one. So needless to say, Thanksgiving's got a little special place in my heart.
Just a tiny bit.
Just a tiny bit.
But
I do enjoy the parade. I enjoy the football. The dog show. It's
just a day to be together with family and just kind of hang out and do what we families in America do best: eat.
And I even spent Thanksgiving with you guys once.
You did for breakfast. We had you over.
Yes, and you made sure to make fun of me in front of your whole family because I ate from the kids' waffle.
Okay, so Janelle made these homemade, wonderful pumpkin waffles with like this amazing homemade spiced cream whipped.
They smelled really good.
And then Mark goes, "I don't like pumpkin spice waffles."
It was kind of like that. It was kind of like that.
And so we go, well, we made the kids regular waffles, so I guess you can have a Mickey Mouse waffle.
So
he had a Mickey Mouse waffle.
Mickey Mouse with the syrup, whipped cream, chocolate chips, like it hit different.
Yeah, it was good.
In which now they're starting to make like these little shape waffle makers. Have you seen them? You can make like little dinos, little Mickey Mouse.
Really?
You can do little Elsa things. Like
I still got.
pretty dope.
I just got the Mickey Mouse head, and then I got the double, just regular waffle maker.
Yep. We have a big one, and then I have a mini one from. Well, no, we have two mini ones from Target.
I was gonna say because
we rocked the two minis.
Yeah, I got them for you for your wedding gift.
You sure did, and dude, we rocked those things.
You were like, man, I really want them little mini waffle makers.
I don't know what it is. Like I love being a big Belgian waffle, but there's just something different about like mini waffles.
See, it takes too many mini waffles and too much time to feed me.
Which actually, you ready for this? So a part of like when I was traveling for work, I don't know how like was that a few months ago now?
Yeah.
Instead of like a big, like normally at hotels they got the big flip waffle maker.
Sure.
This had a mini one,
Really?
I've never seen it. You went 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you flipped it. And
right.
so you had like 4 minis instead of one big. And I'm like, I like this.
That's cool.
I like this.
Well,
so
let's kind of dive into the next segment
because we
here.
want to keep it moving.
We don't want to take too long.
Turkey Day.
So let's do the Would You Rathers. Because,
we're doing really quick.
I mean, would you rather or would you rather not? So,
and which we'll read this review later, but someone said that they appreciate us doing this.
They did.
They did. So and that's really cool. That's the first person that said like on the review or anything that's like, I really like that you guys do this or that.
Well, they said that so you could tell they're a rewinder, which is fine. That's cool. I love that because they were like question in a box, and we're on the Would You Rathers now. So
that's true. I mean, but sometimes we still say, but sometimes we do say question in a box rather than Would You Rather, or sometimes we say this or that, or either way.
All right,
either way. All right, dude. What we got?
First, Would you rather? Would you rather always have a full battery for your phone? Or always have a full tank of gas for your car.
Full tank of gas.
Amen, brother.
No question. No question.
Only 56% of people said full tank of gas. 44% said full battery.
Is it really that hard to plug your phone in?
It's so difficult. I can't reach.
Like, think about it. Like, okay. Like, all 3 of my cars, that would save so much money because we got that big old 15-passenger Ford Transit.
30 gallon. How many gallons does that thing have? 18?
I don't even remember. It's painful. It's more than that, but it's like 13 miles to the gallon. Painful.
Ouch.
Cars do better.
Well, so my car's got 16 gallons, and that's painful enough at $3.39 a gallon.
Yeah. I think most of them are like, I think the minivan's even like 17 or something like that, 18. But
it's horrible.
It's awful. But yeah, free gas all day, dude.
All day. And then I would have the little Joe Biden sign saying, I did this.
But my real question is, why do people say, I'd rather have a full phone charge? Dude, plug your dang phone in. It ain't that expensive.
Because
buy a charger pack.
Most of these people that probably did this probably grew up in like the 2000s and not like the 90s and 80s.
Which, do you remember?
Where we didn't have cell phones.
But remember when we had our first flip phones and those suckers would last like 3 or 4 days
dude,
on a charge,
I didn't get my first flip phone.
Okay.
My flip phone until I was 18.
Oh, see, mine was.
I had one of the old square, like Nokia looking ones.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, my mom had one of those. No, mine was like the dual flip. Like it was before the Samsung Alias actually had a name. It was the SCHU 740. Don't ask me why I remember that. But.
Well, it's like I remember my first flip phone was the Nextel i970.
That's funny. That's funny. But. I was supposed to wait until I was 16 to get my cell phone, but this is back when Verizon was like, hey, you can only add phones on for a good price when you renew everything.
Right.
So mom renewed, so I got mine before I hit 16.
Nice.
I was like 15 and a half.
I got one of the prepaid minute ones.
Oh, yeah.
For my
what were those called?
Christmas when I was 16. My parents go, here's the phone, but we didn't put any minutes on. You're responsible for the minutes.
Dude, some of these Gen Zers have no clue what track phone.
Right.
Old school track phone.
Well,
some people have no idea what we're talking about.
They're still around, but my very first phone was Boost Mobile. And it was the big old square. It was about that big. And it was indestructible. I used to laugh at how indestructible. You could throw it against the wall and it would like nothing would happen.
Or it would like pop out, you pop it back in.
Now I put my phone in my gimbal and I cracked my screen because it came off the axis and went pop,
goodness.
And it cracked my screen. And so that's how fragile these phones are. But yeah, man, I could throw that sucker anywhere and it would be like, whatever.
Memory lane is a good one. All right, what else we got?
All right,
Give me another one. Give me another one.
All right, so would you only make important decisions with your head or only make important decisions with your heart? So logic or emotions, basically, I think is what they're saying. I think I would do.
I would go logic because the heart is deceitful
and wicked, and who can know it, right?
That's where my first thought went. I'm like, I got Bible verses popping in my head.
I think it's easy. We're both very logical people, and so that's why I think we both had.
I can 40. I'm gonna guess
47%.
I was gonna say a lot higher for heart.
47% for head, 53% for heart. So almost split down the middle.
I would have thought it would have been a lot more like 30 to 70%.
Well, yeah, because everybody's like, you got to follow your heart and follow your dreams.
Or it's the fact
you can be anything you want to be.
Or it's the fact that these people are like, you know what? I'm trying to, it ain't working, so I need to follow my head a little bit more. Maybe that's what it was. Who knows?
All right, let's throw one more out there.
Oh, one more? Okay.
Then we'll move on.
Okay.
So, would you rather have to eat dessert at every meal?
Yeah, you don't need to ask the next. Yeah, that. Yeah.
A, option A.
Just I don't even know what B is.
B is never eat dessert again. I'm going A.
Why would anyone say that?
38% of people said never eat dessert again. They're nuts.
Are they serial killers? I mean, we're talking Oreos, we talking cake, we talking pies, we
ice
talking
cream.
muffins.
Oh man,
We're talking coffee cake.
Oh, the coffee
Which, by the way, I
cake.
had some coffee cake at a local cafe. Oh, I went to the Steel Yard over in Elkhart. I wasn't going to buy any food. And then my nose told me otherwise when I walked in. So I got a nice cinnamon coffee cake with my coffee. Oh, it's
Let me tell you something. Janelle made a homemade banana oat bread this week.
I don't like banana or oat bread.
Oh, it's so yummy.
Give me the kid bread. Give me the kid bread.
Yeah, I forgot you're at the kids' table.
Give-
Anyways, should we talk about our coffee before the
We
review?
should. We've been talking about it a little bit, but this is a different bag than what we've been drinking recently because we've been knocking out I have Costa Rican at home, but we've been knocking out the Honduran.
Right, which
blend.
is really
But we're
good.
finished with that. We're done with that bag.
It's gone. Completely gone.
Now we're drinking the Peruvian blend tonight, which Peru, you mentioned on a previous episode, is your favorite
It's
coffee
one of my
bean.
favorite coffees, and this one hits good.
Why does it hit good?
It just does. So it's very, it's got that bold flavor, but not burnt taste, and that good velvety like feeling in your mouth, but not over velvety. So it's got good body. It's delicious, and again, that it came from our coffee sponsor.
It did. Brew It Forward Coffee Co. And their main tag is make a difference with your coffee. And so they have coffee subscriptions where you sign up for, which is what we get from them, where every single month Jared is unreal. He literally roasts it, bags it, and ships it in basically the same day.
Right.
And him and Marianne are just crushing. I mean, we're getting this stuff within 3 days.
Right. It's fresh.
Of it being actually roasted, which is just unreal. But if you do the subscription, you never have to worry about ever buying it again. You just pay for it once, and they send you a different type of coffee every single time.
But if you don't pay for the subscription,
Which we recommend because,
and you get just a single bag, I recommend.
Well, we recommend subscription because we get
But
that.
if you don't want that, you should try a single order, single bag, and I would recommend the Peruvian. And Mark, what's the special thing they get for being an RTC listener?
You get 10% off.
10% off. Use the coupon code RTC.
And check this out, though.
Pretty
But
easy.
if you get the subscription, you get free shipping.
What?
So you can pay whole bean. It's a 15-ounce bag, which a pound. You get a pound of coffee that is freshly roasted, organic. None of this
single origin.
None of this Starbucks stuff
Single
that you're
origin.
talking about. Single origin, $18, free shipping. That's it. And like even around here, like I buy Important Joe's sometimes. I'm paying $22 a bag for single origin.
Well,
It's not even a pound.
When I buy La Columba, it's 12 ounces for $15. So
And even Zen Cafe, I paid $22 for that one. It might have been 16 ounce, but still. So it's actually cheaper
than most other
local roasters. But in my opinion, this is
hits
some
good.
good sipping coffee.
And what's this little snacky snack
All
you
right,
got here?
so we've been doing some weird coffee things. Like we had that really gross. I mean, I drink all of it. You can make fun of me of the Coke coffee. We tried that.
Drank 2 cans of it.
No, I didn't even touch the caramel one after we were. You gave me vanilla. I drank the vanilla. I left the caramel.
You drank some of the caramel.
I drank it a little bit, but I left it. And then we did that LaCroix coffee, and we couldn't even do it.
I'm sorry, Beth. I took a sip, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah, no, we're getting rid of it. I still need to bring it to Soche. Well, she found online that Cliff Bars, because she's a big Cliff Bar eater, that they have a coffee collection Cliff Bar. So she gave, and there's 3 different flavors apparently.
Sure.
There's caramel macchiato, this one, and then like a vanilla. It's a vanilla something. I don't know.
Okay.
So she gave us a dark chocolate mocha to try.
And it's got one
It's got a shot of espresso. So each bar has 65 milligrams of caffeine. So we're drinking coffee tonight.
And we're going to eat coffee.
And we're going to eat coffee. So this is the Cliff Bar. Oh, that's amazing.
That's good. That's the best thing you guys got for us.
So right now,
Sorry, Janelle and Beth.
right now, Beth is one for 2, and Janelle is 0
for
for 1 on weird coffee stuff. So we stamp of approval for RTC.
RTC.
Cliff Bar coffee
Bar
collection. Go for wow. I mean, it just keeps chewing. I feel really awkward. I feel like we have to pause the show so we can finish chewing and swallow.
I finished. So
You talk. I'm chewing.
or chew faster because you got the review.
Oh goodness. Okay, I'm ready to go. Yeah. So let's read the review real quick before we get into the conversation
Sure.
because we're sorry, we're already 15 minutes in. This is from Harlem Shaker 540. Is this a phone number, bro? 540-15401. No, that's too many digits for a phone number. But Harlem Shaker, do the Harlem Shake. But Harlem Shaker 540-15401 says, I've been listening to RTC for about a month now and haven't stopped listening since. As soon as I get to work, I put my headphones on to listen to the great discussions Marc and Fuller have. These guys know what they're talking about, and everyone with questions should take a listen. Well, Harlem Shaker, Thanks for shaking a review for us.
Shake and bake, brother. Shake
there
and
it is.
bake.
I'm like, there's a dad joke in here somewhere, and I just don't know what it is. But here's the deal. I've had a lot of people reach out to me. We've had people who reach us on YouTube.
Phone calls,
text messages, Instagram, Facebook. And so many of you guys said, you know what, Mark Fuller, we don't have Apple Podcasts, so we don't know how to leave a review, so we're just going to leave it here, which is totally cool. Hey, if you just share the podcast with your friends, that's good enough for us. Like, let's just be honest. But
we're just trying to get in the ears of more listeners.
But if you have an iPhone, you should just, download the app, jump on it, leave a review, and then delete the app, because that would still be pretty dope, too. But you can only leave a review on Apple Podcasts, but all the other places, just keep sharing, man. Share the content. Engage on Instagram. You took another bite of that Cliff Bar, didn't you?
I did. It was good.
Engage on Facebook. We've had people calling us, leaving us voicemails. We've had people doing a lot of text messages, asking us questions. I got people DMing me on my personal account and RTC account. I mean, dude, this is unreal. You guys out there in the RTC universe are amazing. And to recording date, just this past, maybe like a week and a half ago, we crossed the 50,000 download mark.
What?
Our episodes have been downloaded 50,000 times, Fuller.
Wow.
And that was
impressive. Date
of recording like a month and a half ago.
Yeah,
so who knows where we're at now?
We should check it sometime. Anyways.
I check it way more than I probably should. But either way, we just want to say thank you for leaving that review. Thank you for listening. Thank you for engaging. Now, without further ado, we probably should talk about our conversation.
Archived on Thanksgiving.
Hey, good night. All right, give it to us, bro. What are we talking about tonight?
We're talking about Thanksgiving. And should Christians celebrate it? And if so, maybe what are some ways we should celebrate it or why we should celebrate it?
And we've always kind of had a Halloween episode and a Thanksgiving episode.
And a Christmas episode.
And a Christmas episode.
These are the three holidays that we always kind of...
Easter, Black Friday, we do stuff like that around that time too.
Sometimes. We haven't done a Black Friday one in a while.
No,
we did New Year's. We did New Year's.
But, the last time we talked about can we even be thankful and how to be thankful in 2020.
So, yeah, we did how to be thankful in 2020. And then before that, it was, I don't remember. Something about, it was Black Friday and Thanksgiving.
Yes, we talked about Black Friday shopping and gratitude. So, so this year, we're just talking about in general, should we even celebrate Thanksgiving? And I got to ask the question, why are we even asking this question? Like this is a serious question. Why are we asking, should Christians celebrate Thanksgiving?
Well, there's a lot going on with the world today. And there's a lot of people that are saying, well, the first Thanksgiving is racist because it was oppressive white people that stole the Indians' land.
Native Americans' land and moved in. And
sure. And so if that's the case, if it was based out of sin, well, we should probably talk about that and inform people. But if it's not, then we'll go from there.
Carry on. Right.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that, CRT has been a big thing. And eventually,
we've been doing a lot of research.
We want to make sure we come into CRT conversation very well researched before we actually do it. So
and people have been asking us about it. And yes, we are. We're working on it.
That's why we're not doing it. That's not something we take lightheartedly. We don't want to come in unprepared. So it's a lot of research, a lot of time. We will probably get to it sometime in the new year. But because of all that and everything going on, I figured, well, this is something that Christians, the church, should really look at. If this is true, maybe we should look at it. But before we get into it too much, I love this quote by Pastor Jack Wellman. He said, Thanksgiving is more than just a day to eat lots of turkey and gear up for Black Friday shopping. Thanksgiving is more even than a day to remind ourselves of all the good things in life. Thanksgiving is an attitude. God wants us to be grateful in all things.
I like that.
So, quick history. There's different... Some people say that the history goes back at Thanksgiving back to the Egyptian days. The Greeks, they would have harvest days, Thanksgiving days type of things where they would thank the gods for
the bountiful harvest.
For the plentiful harvest and stuff like that.
Which didn't even the Jews do something like that, though? Like they did. It was
called,
a feast?
I think it was called Sukkot. Sukkkat, I believe is what it is. It's Sukkot.
Because I remember they had some sort of a feast where they was like, they celebrated the first fruits of the harvest.
Right, the plentiful harvest and stuff. So Sukkot, I believe, is what the Jewish people practice. But rather than diving so much into all that history, I said, well,
let's just stick with America.
Let's stick with the USA here, right? And there's a couple different variations of even America of when the actual first Thanksgiving was.
Wait, really?
But I'm gonna read a quick history of the most popular view of what the first Thanksgiving was. So it says, and this comes from gotquestions.org, one of our
favorite sources.
one of our go-to places, and I've got there's a whole huge article about it. This is just a snippet of that article, but we'll put the link in the show notes, just like we always do.
Yep.
So the original Thanksgiving celebration was held by the Pilgrim settlers in Massachusetts during the second winter in America in December 1621. The first winter had killed 44 of the original 102 colonists. At one point, their daily food rations was down to 5 kernels of corn apiece.
Whoa.
But then an unexpected trading vessel arrived, swapping them beaver pelts for grain, providing for their severe need. The next summer's crop brought hope, and Governor William Bradford decreed that December 13th, 1621, be set aside as a day of feasting and prayer to show the gratitude of the colonists that they were still alive. These pilgrims, seeking religious freedom and opportunity in America, gave thanks to God for his provision for them in helping them find 20 acres of cleared land, for the fact that there was no hostile Indians in the area, for their newfound religious freedom, and for God's provision of an interpreter to the Indians in Squanto. Along with the feasting and games involving the colonists and more than 80 friendly Indians, who added to the feast by bringing wild turkeys and venison, prayers, sermons, and songs of praise were important in the celebration. 3 days were spent in feasting and in prayer. From that time forward, Thanksgiving has been celebrated as a day to give thanks to God for his gracious and sufficient provision. President Abraham Lincoln officially set aside the last Thursday of November in 1863 as a day of thanksgiving and praise to our beneficent Father. In 1941, Congress ruled that after 1941, the fourth Thursday of November be observed as Thanksgiving Day and be a legal holiday.
You know, it's funny. It's like growing up in school, every Thanksgiving, we always, talked about the Pilgrims, the Native Americans, right, and all these different things, and we would put the little hats.
Sure.
We would put on little skits. I remember we brought the grandparents in once. We actually did a skit, and then we had our feast. Yeah. But it's funny how the OG days was December.
Right.
But then we, kicked it back to November.
And actually in 1623, so 1622 was a big famine. 1623, there was a drought going on in the harvest season, and they got together for fasting and praying, and prayed to God for rain, and rain came, and the harvest was plentiful, which was the official second day or second Thanksgiving that they always went back to as the Thanksgiving.
So for them, it wasn't so much about let's have a whole bunch of food and throw a party and gorge. It was literally hey, let's set aside a day for intentionality.
It was a church day. It was a holy.
It was a potluck.
It was a Southern Baptist potluck.
A 3-day potluck, for that matter.
That's
so I guess here's my question: when we see history like this, where the Native Americans joined in, they're like, hey, we want to be part of this celebration with you. Why do people have such a bad rap towards it?
Well, because of a lot of the other history that surrounded the early colonies, and the fact that the Pilgrims came over. They were basically disbanded from Holland for the way they practiced their religion of Christianity. They were viewed as a threat, and that's when they decided to, hey, we're just going to go to
this new world, and yeah.
And so, I'm not saying I agree with all the Pilgrims' theology and philosophy, but the reason why they came was for religious freedom. They weren't coming to steal land. They weren't coming to do anything. They just wanted a place where they could practice Christianity.
Now, granted, as the years went on, rich, gritty people started to try to come exploit and grow.
I'm not deterred from any of that. And again, that would be a conversation that we'll dig into when we go to CRT. But I'm just stopping it here at 1623.
Just for Thanksgiving. So when we're
just talking about strictly the Thanksgiving, we're hitting on the common story of the Pilgrims that came over on the Mayflower that settled in Massachusetts. So, man,
my voice still isn't back yet. I keep muting myself to cough. It's awful. Dealing with strep throat, and it's been over a month. But I'm not contagious. I don't have it. Just it hurts a little bit. But I think about this time in history. Not in history. I'm sorry, but this time living with these people who'd be living in this time period.
Sure.
And for them, they wanted a day to set aside for intentionality, for a specific reason, purpose, and a cause. And obviously the Bible says, always be thankful, rejoice always, with prayers, hope, and supper.
Sure.
And wow, I can't think what the word is. and petition, make a request made known unto God, but it's always pray without ceasing and always be thankful and always thank God for these things.
Right.
But I think there's something to be said, though, about having a specific location and specific time where it's like, we're going to set this side apart as holy to intentionally do this.
So, and that's, so why should Christians celebrate Thanksgiving? Well, Christians should always be thankful in our everyday lives and show gratitude to God and to others. But exactly what you said, it's an intentionality. Like, hey, this day we are going to give thanks. And yeah, it's good to have, we talked about football and eating a bunch of food and, enjoying the family. And those are great things. But we should be refocusing again on what the true meaning we should be doing as Christians is giving thanks to God. And we should set that day aside for that.
So here's a different question then, and maybe this kind of goes into a different part of the conversation. Should our day of Thanksgiving be one of gorging? Well,
we'll get into that a little bit later.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, cool. Well, I'll let you take it then, man.
But right now, I mean, what are some ways that Christians should be thankful? We talk about, intentionality. Well, okay. And we kind of went through this last year about, being thankful for 2020, and all the craziness of that. But I wanted to dig into it a little bit more, So one way would be we should be grateful towards God for saving us, first of all. I mean, that's a huge thing. Like, without God, we're nothing. We're not even alive. But Colossians 3:15-17, it says, "And let the peace of Christ, to which you were also called in one body, rule your hearts, and be thankful. Let the words of Christ dwell richly among you, in all wisdom, teaching and admonishing one another in psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs, singing to God with gratitude in your hearts. And whatever you do in word or in deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus. Give thanks to God the Father through him." So we couldn't even do that without God. And just the fact that he has saved us and he has drawn us to him, he has chosen us, and we can do these things. Another one is Ephesians 5:19-20, speaking to one another in psalms, hymns, spiritual songs, and singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord, giving thanks always for everything to God the Father in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. So again, without Christ, there is no way to really be thankful. Another way that we can also be thankful as Christians is one of the reasons why is we're told to do it. We're told to give thanks in everything.
Which is the verse I kind of hijacked.
Well, that's all right. So 1 Thessalonians 5:16-18 says, "Rejoice always, pray constantly, give thanks in everything, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." Philippians 4:4-6 says, "Rejoice in the Lord always. I say it again, rejoice. Let your graciousness be known to everyone. The Lord is near. Don't worry about anything, but in everything, through prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." Another way that we can be thankful and why we should be thankful is it's good. It's instructed for us to do towards others. So 1 Timothy 2:1-4 says, "First of all, then, I urge that petitions, prayers, intercessions, and thanksgivings be made for everyone, for king and for all those in authority, so that we may lead a tranquil and quiet life in all godliness and dignity. This is good, and it pleases God our Savior, who wants everyone to be saved and come to the knowledge of the truth." Another reason to be thankful is we've received many, many blessings. James 1:17-18 says, "Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. By his own choice, he gave us birth by the word of truth, so that we would be a kind of first fruits of his creatures." So again, we could keep going on and on why we should be thankful. We should be thankful in suffering because it brings about character, and all these things that we've talked about of why we should be thankful. So we're coming together. We're making an intentional day. We know reasons why we should be thankful according to the scriptures, but I mean, can we gorge ourselves?
Right, and that's the question.
Can we
and
go
even more than
into
that, it's one of those things where I think sometimes in the midst of the mess of life, it's hard for us to remember to be thankful. This kind of goes back to our last year episode where, and honestly, this is something that my counselor's been working through with me this past week, is just, in the midst of the mess, is there still things you can be thankful for? Sure. Like, and there's like a lot of Facebook posts out there where it's like, rather than see all these messy dishes and go, really, I got to do all this? It's like, God, thank you that I have a family that was able to use these dishes and do this. My house is an absolute mess. Well, God, thank you that I have kids that turn this house into a mess and they have fun and making memories here and doing it. And, even in the midst of the hard things, like with us, with having kids who they didn't choose to have the special needs that they had, and they didn't choose the family situation that they had. They didn't choose to be in split homes. But it's like, is there a way for even them to find the thankfulness in God that they should? And it all starts with us as parents, and us as adults, where it's like, you know what? This is not the way the world's supposed to be, but thank God that there's blessings in the midst of it. Sure. But then there's also going to be blessings on the back end of it too.
And we can always think of people less fortunate than us.
Right.
What about when we talked with Beth from Back to Back Ministries and everything that's going on in Mexico and over in Africa, and the orphanage, the kids without parents. I mean, those types that we could be in that situation. We could have been born into that situation, and we're not. We're born into an American situation that, we may have the stresses of life, but hey, we got a roof over our head.
We have a lot of good privileges.
We're drinking coffee. We're able to podcast. We're able to support our families. We're not starving. Our children aren't dying. I mean, there's a whole lot of things to be thankful for. So
I guess going out of that, to follow up the question, why do we so many times have such a negative, complaining spirit when we have so much to be thankful for? But let's be honest, how often are we actually thankful?
Well, it goes back to selfishness and pride, I think. This is just my opinion. I think it's selfishness and pride. I think with the pride aspect, we think, I don't deserve to be going through this. I should have it better. Things should be going the way I need them to go. And then the selfishness is, well, I'm mad. Like for me, I'll give an example of my own life of, I come home and my kids are just being terrible. I've had a long day at work and they're not listening.
Been there, do that.
So you're punishing, you're taking things away. You're having to punish them. Now they got to go to bed early, and you're just like, I just wanted to come home and spend time with you and have a good night with you. And you notice all those words in there of, I just wanted, I just wanted this, I just wanted that. And it's just the selfishness of, it wasn't the way that I wanted it to be. And so because of that, I'm upset. I'm angry. I'm hurt. I'm not thankful for the family I have or the kids that I have at that moment.
And it doesn't make it easier. It's still hard.
And it never is. I'm not saying in a perfect world, yes, with no sin, no problem, no problem. But because we don't have that, it is hard, and that is a battle that we continue to struggle with. I mean, to me, also, I've told you this, and we've said this in the podcast, or I have many times, is that I believe the root of all sin is pride. It comes from pride. Without pride, without selfishness, the sin aspect is almost gone completely. And it all started with Satan and his pride, thinking, hey, I want to be higher than God and higher than everybody else, and I deserve this. So it all that's like kind of where and then you got Adam and Eve, who are like, well, I want to have the knowledge of good and evil. I want to be like God. So it comes back to that pride and that selfishness. And so I think that's why we as humans, it's human nature to be that way. And so I think that's why it's a struggle to have thankfulness and really to dedicate a whole day to being like, hey, I'm just going to be thankful. And honestly, we've had it a little rough.
It's been rough on you guys. Yeah.
Well, not even that, but just how many families got together and were intentional about just having a day of thankfulness on Thanksgiving. No, typically it's about the food, it's about the family and the fellowship and having a good time together, and
a day off of a couple days off of work,
day off of work, right? Sure, and that's what we're looking forward to, and it's just a great time. But just like we do at Christmas, though Christmas isn't the actual birth date of Jesus, we observe
we observe it.
We set it apart, and we're supposed to be remembering the reason for the season.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we need to get back to doing that for Thanksgiving.
So let's lean into that. What can we do as families to keep the main thing for Thanksgiving?
The main thing.
Yep. Keep it the main thing.
So I've got 6 little, just tiny tidbits.
Dude, 7's God's number, bro.
I know.
We got to figure out how to add number 7.
Well, I'll let you have number 7.
Okay, I'll take number 7.
You can do the completion of perfection because you the man.
Oh, thank you. the man with a cough.
So we can, we can talk about these things and we can maybe flesh them out a little bit as we go along. Especially because we're only at 35 minutes, and although I don't want to make it too long.
Let's make it too long. Let's just run through it. Let's just run through it.
Number 1, pray together, giving thanks to God for what He has done. This is so important. We should and I'm terrible at this. We should get together and pray with our families more as a family.
I suck at it. I even told Beth, I'm like, this is a weak spot of mine.
So I pray with my kids. I pray with my kids at dinner time, and I pray with my kids at bedtime. But I don't pray with my kids any other time, and I don't pray with my wife any other time. And this is me confessing right here. I'm horrible at that, and my wife would love nothing more than for us to pray together more. And I'm like, oh, I just don't have the time. I'm getting busyness. It's the selfishness and pride within me again. But this should be a day where we dedicate to, hey, we're going to stand together as a family. We're going to pray and thank God for what we have, for having a house, for having a family, for having this food, for being able to spend time together, for having jobs and these types of things. But even beyond that, for the opportunity to be ambassadors for Christ. Thank you for choosing us, making us your elect. I'm a Calvinist.
If you can't tell.
So, I mean, that's number one in my book, is you should start off this holiday in prayer with your family. Number two, read Thanksgiving scriptures together. And not like, and the Lord said, today is Thanksgiving Day, and the turkey shall be roasted, and the stuffing shall be stuffed, and all the little creatures shall grab mashed potatoes and gravy. That is not what I'm talking about.
That's weird.
That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about some of these scriptures that we read, and you know, the commands to be thankful and giving thanks. And I always think of that song, that old, I can't remember if it was 90s or early 2000s. Give thanks to the Lord, our God and King. His love endures forever.
That's like early thousands, bro.
Is it? I can't remember.
It's Forever by Chris Tomlin, bro.
Yeah, so that song always plays in my head. No, it wasn't Chris Tomlin originally, was it?
Forever, yeah.
Man, that was a long time ago.
Keep talking. I'm gonna.
I believe you. I just couldn't believe it was Chris Tomlin.
Yep.
So read scriptures together. You know, sing songs together of thanksgiving to God. And this kind of sets the stage for this next part, which I think
2001, Chris Tomlin.
You the man.
Look at that.
I told you.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, praying together, reading scriptures together, even singing songs, if you want to throw that in there with number two. Number three, number 1 and 2 sets the stage for number 3. And I think this is important. And I think families should do this together because it's part of being thankful. And that's a Thanksgiving communion. You know, most churches don't have a Thanksgiving service, even though we have a Christmas Eve service. And so there's not an opportunity to take it as a corporate body, but I think the internal body, your family, I think this is a very great opportune moment to really focus and have that communion and remembrance of Christ and what he's done for us. And I think this is the perfect day for it because we're setting aside a day to be thankful. What are we thankful for? Well, we should definitely be thankful for Christ dying on the cross, and we should remember his promise to us of his soon return and be thankful for that. And so I think it's really cool aspect of taking, and I've never done this, but I was just sitting here, I was thinking about it when I was writing some of these show notes, and I'm like taking a Thanksgiving communion together, breaking bread and reading through exactly what Jesus said when he broke the bread, and this is my body, which is broken for you, and this is my blood, which is spilled out for you. It's just, man, that's amazing. That's like the number one most thankful thing.
I've never thought of that, actually.
We should be thankful for as a family, and we're doing this as a core unit. All right. So number 4, set aside time as a family to discuss the importance of being thankful. So kind of 1 through 3 kind of.
And I would say number 4 is probably what most families do.
Sure. I mean,
everyone go around the table and say one thing you're thankful for.
Right. Yeah.
And so I think most people do that.
Right. And so this is one of those things that most families that even secular families do.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm thankful for a car to drive. I'm thankful for my new guitar. Yeah.
Or I'm thankful for a roof over my head or new shoes.
There's food on the table. That's the standard one, you know. So, but I still think it's important is to just set aside time to discuss things that your kids are thankful for, that you're thankful for. And it doesn't have to be, it could be around the table. It could be one time, you know, every say one thing, or it could be like, hey, we're going to take an hour. We're just going to keep going around and around and around. Just keep thinking of things you're thankful for. It could be whatever you want, however you want to set it up. Number 5, this is another thing I thought about. So I was thinking, when I was writing this one, I'm thinking about it, I had Post-it notes on my desk. I was at work. I had Post-it notes on my desk, and I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if, like, you had a dedicated wall in your house and be like, hey, throughout the week before, just write something that you're thankful for and stick it on the wall. And so I call it the wall of thankfulness. And it's just like kind of like what we did with the cross. Remember when we did the here at the church, we like wrote down like a sin or something like that we were our repentance or whatever, and we folded it. We stuck
family
it to
worship night,
and we stuck it to or we pinned it to the cross or whatever. Yeah, on the family worship night. So that's kind of where this came from. It was like a wall of thankfulness rather than a wall of a cross of repentance.
I like that.
And another thing, I think it's really important to read some sort of Thanksgiving story. because history is important. And though our history here in America has not always been pretty, it doesn't have to be a traditional Thanksgiving Day story, but some sort of story of thankfulness would be good to help us get a better perspective of, hey, maybe, the kid in Africa is like, hey, I'm thankful I got water today. And that puts it in perspective for us. But dang,
big time perspective.
He's thankful for that. And I'm sitting here like, oh, I'm thankful for my Game Boy or whatever, So to me, it would be a cool way to put it in perspective.
That's cool.
So, hey, what's number 7?
I would say something that would, I think, actually help and expand Thanksgiving a little bit is to do Thanksgiving with other families, too. Because my question is...
it was fun when you came over.
It was a blast. It was an absolute blast. And now, Grant, for Thanksgiving this year, we got family come... Like Thanksgiving is the big holiday for best family. So we got, all the families are coming in for Thanksgiving.
Sure.
And so, I know it's important to celebrate Thanksgiving with the extended family.
Sure.
But why not also do Friendsgiving, too? Whether it's a different day or whatever. But the fact of, it's also cool to come together because, the Bible says we'll overcome by what? The blood of the Lamb, the word of our testimony.
Right.
It's so much easier to do life in community with one another.
Yes.
Where, for us, I feel like the only way I got through, the whole divorce and affair and everything, and then COVID,
I was on you like a grease monkey.
Nah, bro, you were on me like a leech.
I know I was.
You were on me like a leech. But the fact, and I'm not saying that you are the sole reason why it got me through, because obviously, God's grace got me through, but God's grace brought me you to help get me through that. So it's like, why do we segregate ourselves on Thanksgiving rather than do Thanksgiving with other people and all do this together? And I think it's really hard for us as adults to now I also get it because I'm like, I just want a day with no people. I'm actually becoming an introvert as I get older.
That's my boy right
I hate
there.
it, but I'm becoming more of an introvert as I get older. Like I'm just like, after a couple of days, people, I'm out. I don't want to do this no more.
Or after a long week, you're just like, I don't really feel like talking to
Exactly.
anybody.
Like they were talking the other day and we're like, oh, I'm so glad we have a Saturday where we don't have to talk to, we're having a birthday party for Sadie. Never mind. We're going to have people over at the house on Saturday, I guess. But, why don't we come together and, show a little vulnerability, show a little, common grace towards each other and actually do something besides just, I don't know, to just be. Like, actually use that time intentionally. And for some reason, I think us as adults, like, it's kind of awkward to say, oh, well, I'm thankful for this. And I've been dealing with it. Here's where I see God's grace shine through that. And sometimes, different people are better at it than others. But I still think it'd be cool to gather as, other people together rather than just stay exclusive in your family.
So let's break that down into a sentence for number 7 so we can add it here. Let's call it the...
have Thanksgiving with other Christians.
I was going to say the Thanksgiving testimonial time or whatever. That way you're with other people.
That's a yes. Spend Thanksgiving with others. Spend Thanksgiving
there you
with
go.
others.
That's fine. All right.
I like that.
So we had pray together, give thanks to God for what he has done, read Thanksgiving scriptures together, take a Thanksgiving communion, set aside time as a family to discuss the importance of being thankful, make a thankfulness wall together, read a Thanksgiving story together, and have Thanksgiving with other families.
I love it. That's a good list, dude.
I think that's the best we can do. So should Christians have Thanksgiving? I think so.
Yep.
I think it should be intentional towards God. And we've given you 7 ways to maybe start doing it in your own family.
And there's nothing wrong with setting aside a specific day to do a specific thing.
Exactly.
I like it.
Time for Fun Facts with Fuller.
Well, before we let the people go on their Merry Thanksgiving way, dude,
Sure.
I'm just going to ask, I haven't looked. Is your fun fact Thanksgiving related?
It is.
Hey, normally it is. Normally it's related around the holiday.
Well, so the Halloween episode, I don't think I did a Halloween fun fact, but
nope, we just had a fun fact.
So I was like, I better do like a Thanksgiving fun fact. So we're gonna go ahead and do a Thanksgiving fun fact.
All right, let's do it, my friend.
All right.
Some people on their merry way.
A Thanksgiving mix-up inspired the first TV dinners.
Wait, what?
Yeah. In 1953, a Swanson employee accidentally ordered a colossal shipment of Thanksgiving turkeys, 260 tons to be exact.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot of turkey.
To deal with the excess, salesman Jerry Thomas took inspiration from the prepared foods served on airplanes. He came up with the idea of filling 5,000 aluminum trays with the turkey along with cornbread, dressing, gravy, peas, and sweet potatoes to complete the offering. The 98-cent meals were a hit, especially with kids and increasingly busy households.
Yep.
Within a single year, over 10 million were sold, and the whole industry was born.
Holy cow. So the entire TV dinner industry was born because someone ordered a crap load of turkeys
Out of a Thanksgiving mix-up.
and they were like, we have no idea what to do with all this.
They probably were like, I want 260 pounds, and he put 260 tons.
But think about it. They sold $10 million worth of these TV dinners back in, what year did you say? The 50s?
1953.
That's a lot of money.
Well, that's why it became an
And
industry.
now we got Hungry Man XL. We got,
I love him.
we got,
Hungry Man.
I mean, dude,
What's
even
the little
P.F.
one?
Chang's.
What's the little one with the penguins on it that we used to get as kids? Remember the little penguin TV dinner with like the brownie mix and the little? I don't remember what it's called.
What those are called.
But those were bomb.com.
Someone remind us what those things were called, because those were
delicious.
good. Those were good. Well, dude, let's send these people on their merry way.
Sure.
Hey, guys, just like always, you can check us out at realtalkchristianpodcast.com. There you can find all the links for everything, including Facebook, Instagram, email, and our phone number. And hey, here's the deal. We know there's a lot of you out there that we have not met yet, but there's a lot of you guys that we have met. So if we have not met you yet, feel free to send us a text, send us a message, and we'd love just to get to know you a little bit. And hey, if you got any questions about the show or questions you want us to answer on the show, feel free to reach out to us, right?
That's exactly right.
Did I miss anything, my friend?
The only other thing is, remember, holiday season is coming up. So if you're in the need of finding a good gift, go to csbible.com and pick your loved one up a CS Study Bible.
Or a Real Talk Christian Podcast merch.
Or
That'd be a nice little Christmas present. A little RTC sweatshirt because it's starting to get a little cold.
which you can get at the store off the website. So
Just
there you go.
RealTalkChristianPodcast.com, hit the store tab, and there you go. Well, hey, guys, we hope you have a very, very merry, happy,
Merry Thanksgiving.
stupendous Thanksgiving. Have a great turkey day with your family. Remember the reason for the Thanksgiving day. Give thanks to God and have fun with your family.
That's right.
But until next time,
Take it easy.